Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live at 6:59 on March 27th at 7 p.m. So I'm on a minute early because I have a new phone and that's usually a whole challenge in itself. So I just wanted to see that we can get on and this thing works. And it has nothing to do with not having the slow internet last week. It was time to get a new phone, and so I have a new phone, business phone, and it's also an Apple, so that's a whole new world to me too. But I think we'll have a better quality videos, and so got a new phone, so we gotta play with the new phone and get all the apps back onto it and get all the passwords, and that's a problem in itself. You got to track down passwords and you think you got them in your notebook and they're not, and then you got two-step verification and all that good stuff. So I have some of the stuff on the phone, but not everything. But looks like we do have the Facebook on here and we're looking pretty good, so hopefully the picture is good quality. That's what I really wanted, and the voice. And then I kind of made a decision with Courtney. She helped with her input. So Facebook is taking down the live videos after 30 days, which we brought that up before. And so you guys won't have access to them on Facebook. And so what we have decided to do, even though they were part of this group and not on YouTube before, and it was kind of a benefit to the box, but I have not raised the price of the box, even though prices have gone up, and we're trying to keep them where they're at, because I know it's a hobby and it's expensive to everyone. And for everyone to have access to the videos, like, there's just the most viable thing for us to do, we decided, is to put them onto YouTube. And so they're not exclusive to the box anymore. But I'm also not raising the price of the box to try to offset that a little bit. So hopefully that is going to work for you guys. And they'll just be on there indefinitely and forever, which is actually a good thing because the box is coming to an end in December of 26. And I know a lot of you wanted access to the videos after that point. And so I think that's the best option for all of us, myself and all of you guys. So I hope everyone is happy with that. It's going to take time to do it. I do have the videos downloaded for 25, 24, 23, and I have December, November, October, and September of 2022 downloaded to the computer. And I want to get them all downloaded before I start uploading them to YouTube so that we don't lose any, because they're deleting them. It was a March 19th thing. We did do the extension, so hopefully that helped and they don't delete them. So my goal is to get all of our videos from all of our classes, so we're going on 6 years, and get them all onto YouTube. And I know we already did lose some of them before. So everything that I have will be going to YouTube, and everyone will have access to them. And that's just, I think, the best option for you guys and for us at this point. And then I will be keeping a hard copy on my computer. So hopefully you guys are okay with that, but that's what we're going to work at. Well, they're not going to be on YouTube here for a little bit because, like I said, I have to get them all downloaded first so we don't lose them. So that's the plan with that. So that's kind of the biggest news for tonight. So this is our box with our egg and our chick with the cracked egg in it. And then I do have our April box here. So it is a big piece. You will be getting the tea light, the topper, and then the candle as well. And now I was kind of dumb when I ordered. I don't know what happened. I normally buy the add-on molds as well. So there is a small and a medium one to go with this. It's called Meadow Impressions. And so the next time I order molds, I will order those too, so you guys will be able to add them on later. So this is the side that's not done because I ran out of time. And then this is the side that's pretty much done. I'm still going to highlight these guys here, but I got it far enough that you guys can have you have the color list and we're not using special watercolor paints. I think the better option is for us to use our paints and just thin them like watercolor, because the watercolor palettes, I'm trying to get it all in the screen here for you, kind of have a limited palette of colors, and then you mix your colors. And so by doing it the way I did it, we will be able to use any of our colors, and I think that's a better option too. So it is two-sided. Like I said, this side isn't quite finished yet because I was running out of time Tuesday night. But this side is pretty much finished. I'm going to put the gloss sealer on these berries yet. And then I'll highlight these a little bit more, but it's very simple. All we're going to do is thin our paint to watercolor consistency, basically. And so it was base coated with the gray, I believe it was gray. And then I'll show you how to float the watercolors on there, and it's not hard at all. Like, it's really a cool thing. I haven't seen anybody doing it like this. You can also get the watercolor pencils, but then you'd have to like try to pencil in those and the little crevices, and then try to watercolor it and spread it out. So I didn't think that was a very good option either because of all the texture. And so we're just going to do it my way, which is kind of a made-up technique. And so hopefully you guys love it. So it's just another really simple thing to do. So that is our candle. And again, it is two-sided. I'll get this other side finished up. I didn't care for this really, this is bright green. I didn't care for that. So I did go with the darker green that kind of matches the dandelion here. And you could do these thistles, and you can do different colors. Like these could be thistles instead of dandelions. This could be white Queen Anne's lace instead of the purple. I was just trying to get more colors into it, so you can do whatever you guys want, you know that. So, and the hummingbird was actually pretty simple with floating those light colors, those thinned watercolors on there too, and then the background is the same thing. So that is your piece for April. Yes, you guys should have gotten invoices. If you didn't, let me know. And then your invoices are due on your due date or the 1st otherwise. And you will get the tea light as well. So that is our piece for April. So it's a pretty cool piece, and I'm really kind of mad at myself for not having ordered the other 2 candles to go with it. I don't know how I missed that, because they should have been. I always do that. All right, so then we have our ducks here, and we had trouble with our internet last week, and so I did finish base coating my my egg carton, and so we will start with these guys, and we'll start with our egg carton first, because that one is the probably the hardest one to dry brush because it's so flat. I got dirt all over here. Looks like I got some of my paint wiped off. So I did just base coat it quick here. And so this was just the deep turquoise. And so let's get this touched up. So we'll just get our deep turquoise on here. And you can do any color egg cartons that you want to do. Like the egg cartons come in all kinds of colors. I think there was a couple posted. They looked really cool with the brown eggs. The one had the brown eggs, and then they did more color on the top here, so you can do that too. I kind of left it more plain, like an egg carton that you bought. Okay, so let's go to our light turquoise, which is our OS 469 light turquoise. And then I've been, here's another little thing too. So I've been getting a lot of requests for our past instructions that were in the box. So because the box is going to be coming to an end, I am going to work at getting those on the website as well, because I do have all of that bisque available to sell, because there's plenty of new people looking for that kind of stuff too. So I will be having the past instructions available to purchase. So like if you became a subscriber last year or the year before, you will be able to get those instructions as well. They'll be $4.99 if it's 1 page and $5.99 if it's 2 pages. And the reason for that is because the gloss paper has almost tripled in price. If you can get it, it's hard to get. And then the printer has gone up, and the ink and all that. So there's, you know, trying to keep things as unnoticeable as possible. But like if something's a 2-page instructions, like it will be $1 more to help cover some of that. So, and then shipping has gone up quite a bit, but I'm trying to keep costs at a minimal for you guys. But as you know, everything has gone up. I even heard this week that the Dollar Trees are going from $1.25 to $1.50. So it's everything. It's just the way it is right now with our economy. So I will be getting those instructions on there, but if you do notice a price like $4.99 or $5.99, that's why, because there's 2 pages to it. All right, so we have our light turquoise OS 469. And if you guys think of other things that you want before the box is done in December of 2026 that I can do that will help us transition out of this so you guys have access to things, that's what we'll do. All right, so I just have my boar bristle brush. This is a round size 6. And I just grabbed a little bit of my turquoise, and now I'm light turquoise, and I'm going to brush back and forth. Now this is pretty smooth, so it really doesn't matter which way you're brushing. However, when you get to the lid part, we do have the letters and the grooves. So anytime you have grooves, you want to go across those as much as possible. But then because the letters are going in all different directions, so you just got to brush kind of light so you're not really jamming those bristles down into your grooves, because we want to kind of keep that dark turquoise down in the grooves. Okay, but we can brush any direction really, because it's a pretty flat piece, and so we just want to get our light turquoise on there now over our dark turquoise. If you get wet and shiny when you're brushing, you got too much paint in your brush and you want to just brush it out a little bit. And you can see like I'm going to just go both ways, and that'll give us a nice even coverage. You can go crisscross. This one's a little different exception. I usually don't tell you to do that. I tell you to just go across your textures, like your 8 would be going up and down, so we would go across it. And so we want to go across textures, and we wouldn't go with it because then that would fill in. We fill in our texture when we go with it. So you just want to be aware of that. But like this is a really big, kind of a big piece. But we will, a big piece with a lot of smoothness, so it doesn't really matter as long as you get a good, nice coverage. So we got, when the box ends, we'll be doing any order ship online. Yes, so the plan is to transition more to just shipping more bisque online on the website. So that's kind of why the website's up and going, just to keep going with that. Like I'm not going anywhere. I'm just cutting out the box because the box is really a lot of work for one person. And so it's just, I need to be able to clean my house and mow my lawn, basically. That's where I'm at. I don't have time for any of that stuff right now. And so that's why the box is going to go, because I just don't have time. So you guys are actually, like, it's going to be good. It's not going to be bad. It's a good thing because I have like 8,000 to 10,000 molds. And so like right now, I haven't poured hardly any of the molds, other molds than the box molds, since my dad was in the hospital, because when you miss a day, it takes more than one day to work it up, make it back up. And like I actually missed 6 days being with him in the hospital, and so it's taken a little while here to get back on track with everything and get caught back up. And so I really haven't poured any extra molds like I normally do. Like I probably pour 60 extra molds a month, and I haven't done that this last month because I'm just catching up here with the box and with the shop. And so I'm not going anywhere. The web page is going to be there, and hopefully I can add tons of bisque. Tons of bisque. I can pull all kinds of things. Whatever we have, and I feel like pouring for that day, we'll pull it. Pour 5 or 6 of it, put it on the web page, and we'll just keep going like that. I do instructions for pieces. Yes, hopefully I also have time then to do more instructions for more pieces. So I think a lot of good is going to come out of it, even though the box won't be shipping every month. You guys will be able to order more bisque, more variety of bisque. You'll be able to shop a bigger variety of bisque. I'll be able to do more painted pieces for instruction samples. I can probably do more specialty classes that may be more, maybe a little more complicated too, like a step up from the box stuff. So I think it's going to be a good thing. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. It's just going to give me more time to do that kind of stuff that we haven't been able to do, because the box takes a lot of time. Printing those instructions, creating the labels, making the boxes, making the labels for the boxes. Like, there's just a ton of work behind the scenes that gets done before your box is able to be shipped. And so I think it's going to give us more time. It's going to give me more time to offer more stuff to you guys, actually. So it's going to be good, and we're going to make it work. So Lucy says, what do you think about the super slip? I wish it wasn't so expensive. So that was, I didn't get to see the very first part of it, so I don't know what it's made out of, what kind of talc he's using or what. I mean, I think it sounds great and everything. Other than like that price, $11.60 a gallon is pretty pricey. That's like normally, like a wholesale, like you would have to double that to get your retail price, and then by the time you add shipping onto it, like, it's really pricey stuff. I don't think it's going to go over at that price, actually, myself. I mean, I hope it does for them, because that's wonderful, but $12 a gallon for, or almost $12 a gallon for slip is pretty pricey. And then the other thing is, for me, like, I get the dry ingredients, and I have Evan's ceramics recipe, and so I mix it myself, because otherwise, like, if you get the pre-mixed stuff, and if you're not doing a lot, like we're talking 6 to 9 pallets a year for me, closer to 9 than 6. And so if I get the wet stuff that's pre-mixed, like, I'm paying a lot of shipping to ship water to me, because clay slip is mostly water, honestly. Like, there's a lot of water in it. So that's why I get the dry ingredients, and that helps. For every 2 pallets of dry ingredients, like, I have 3 pallets worth of pre-mixed slip. So, like, I'm gaining a whole pallet by mixing it myself for the cost. And so that's kind of why I do the mixing it myself. And all you need is the recipe and the weights, and you just measure it accurately. Like, you got to be accurate no matter who's you're mixing. And so I do use Evans. It's fairly, I mean, you guys get the best. You see it. It's definitely whiter than the American Slip Company. It's not tan or yellow. I mean, it's not pure. It's not 100% pure white like what we're used to, but it's definitely better than the others that's out there, the yellow and the tannish looking stuff. And so I'm very happy with that. Now it does have its little glitches as far as taking it out of the mold and getting little stress cracks and stuff. Like, it's definitely got its problem with that. I wonder if my clay mixer would mix slip. So what I have is that pouring table, and I have a mixer that attaches to the dowels on top, and so that's how I mix my slip. It's not mixed in an actual mixer, like, it's mixed in my 6-foot pouring table, and it's just, I have I'm a little late. Hello, Brenda. That's okay. And so I just have that, and it's like a 1/2 horsepower motor. It has a stainless steel rod on it that goes about 6 inches from the bottom of the mixing pouring table, because the pouring table can do like 25 gallons. With the new slip, with the new talcless slip, it's a 20-gallon recipe, and so there's plenty of room in there to mix that. So I will mix it, and then I weigh it, and then from there I put it into I have a smaller pouring tank because the pump on that tank isn't any good. and then I put it into 4-gallon pails, and then I just pour it into my little mixing tank, which I got from Glazer's. It's only, it'll hold 20 gallons too, but like you can't, there's not enough room in that little one to, because it's just a pumping table. It's a lily pond pumping table that they carry. And so you can't mix in there unless you, maybe if I did half a batch, but it's just easier to do it in my 6-foot table. It's not hard at all. So it's just like a 6-foot pouring table, and it's got, like the wings are out and it comes down, and like this is where the bottom part is where the slip sits in there. And so I just mix it in there, and then because my pump doesn't work, I have a 2-gallon pitcher, and I just pitcher it into my 4-gallon pails, and then when I need it, I dump the pails into the pouring tank, the little one that I have, that I got brand new, I think last year from Glazer's. So it's would probably be better if I had the motor fixed on the pouring table, then I wouldn't need the other little pouring tank, but it works the way I have it set up right now, so we're good. All right, so the inside of this, these little lips are the hardest to get. You kind of have to get your brush kind of, like I usually go, so if you go from the back towards that front, you can get in there and get that front lip. So that's kind of a tight part, and you kind of got to struggle with that. And so then I'll do the same over on this side. And just come from the back towards that front, and then you'll have to do the same up here. You can come towards the back, and if you don't get every little inch of this, like that's okay, because once you put the grass in there, you're not going to see it all. So and then when I as far as the pump or the mixer, the mixer that's mixing the slip, it's just a 1/2 horse motor, and I got it straight from the motor company because it was like $100 cheaper than buying it. Once you go to the ceramic companies, or it's just like with the pond, if you have a pond and you go to the pond places, they charge you a ton more. And so I just went straight to I looked at the motor that I had, and usually there's a label on there, and just went online and called the company and ordered the motor straight from them. And it's just a motor, and then I think it was either Mexico clay or one of the clay pottery places, and I got the stainless steel rod that has a special little adapter on the end of it to put it onto the shaft of the motor, and then there's a propeller at the end of that, and that piece is kind of expensive. It was around $100. But I still probably saved like $500 by ordering the pieces separate instead of ordering them from a ceramic place, because they just tack on extra money because they're assembling it for you and whatnot, and I'm kind of cheap, so I try to do it myself, and it's a learning experience. So, but you can do it, or if you have a handyman that can help you, I mean that works great too. I don't, so I just have to go out there and tackle it and just tackle it and do it. And but like the 1/2 horsepower motor will stir that slip so it gets it's called a vortex. It's like a little tornado turning in there. You got to mix it. You can't just mix it with a drill. Like I tried that. And you have to mix it for an hour. Depending upon your recipe or who you got it from. So mine has to mix for an hour. And so like a drill doesn't stir it fast enough. Like you really do need like a 1/2 horse motor to actually like whip it. So, but it's not, mixing slip is not hard. All you need is two scales, one that weighs pounds and ounces and one that weighs grams, depending upon your recipe and what their ingredients are. For Evans, that's all I need is a pound and ounce scale and then a gram scale. So, and it's scary at first, I'm not gonna lie. Like you got all this water and clay, and You just got to follow the instructions to the T, do your measurements, you know, as accurately, and it's all good. Like you can do it. Do you have a new date for your bisque sale? I do not, because I got to talk to Courtney and my helpers. Hopefully sooner than later. So it'll probably be so that it can ship in the May box, so you guys get free shipping in the May box. I'll have to check, because we'll have Mother's Day in there in May, or no, that'll be before. It'd have to be in April. It'll be in April sometime, so that it'll ship in your May box. So it'll be in April sometime, I can tell you that. Not sure exactly. I'll get with Courtney over the weekend and Casey to see when we can squeeze one in, because then I'll have to send invoices too, so I need a little time for that. So, but we definitely need to have one, because I have no room for stuff, which is kind of why I haven't been pulling extra molds too. So, so I'm just like keep moving this thing all over, and we just keep building up this light turquoise to get our nice light turquoise colored egg carton here. And you can see like it looks really streaky and ugly. And so we have quite a ways to go. Like this guy takes a lot of brushing, and I can show you the finished one to really get it covered really, really well. And just a little bit of the dark turquoise coming through. So you could have painted it with the light turquoise and then antiqued it with the dark turquoise. You could do it that way too. So now that's when you get wet, that's a little wet in my brush, a little too much. So you still want to have that nice soft look to it. So you don't want to rush. Like I guess I'm kind of rushing and talking here. So I need to slow my pace down. You only want a little bit of paint, and then you want your color to go on nice and light, and you want to be patient and let it take the time that it takes, because it does take time. And so I do know a few of you have been messaging for the extra candle, and have a few air holes in them on the top. I don't know what the deal is, because I tap them and tap them and tap them. And so I will be adding some of them for seconds. I will have some for seconds. I have like 15 of them right now for seconds, but I'm going to try to save some of them. But then that cuts into my good ones. So so I'm still pouring for the good ones. So I don't have good extra ones at this point, and they'll probably have to go in the May box. But there will be some seconds, so I will get those posted as soon as I have time too. It's kind of been a busy week because we have spring break here, and I tried to offer some stuff to the community this week. We had a glass day, I called it glass camp. We had glass camp yesterday, and I had the assisted living group came today. They had to be rescheduled from when my dad was in the hospital. And then tomorrow I have stoneware camp. So just a little busy with that stuff, even though it's in the afternoon. Like I have to get out there like at 11, by 11, because it starts at noon, and kind of set up everything. The idea with the glass camp was that, I mean, people can do the glass anytime that they come, but it takes up a lot of space. And so having glass camp, I could put out a table and pull out the cart, and everything could be available for everybody, and instead of trying to get into our back corner where it's kind of hard to get to. So it kind of made it a little easier for everybody. So, and we had an okay turnout. I didn't have a great turnout, but we had an okay turnout. Tomorrow we're doing stoneware, and I do think we'll have a few more people for that, the way it sounds. I had a lot of 4-Hers yesterday, so that was good. Because like spring break is kind of about the kids doing stuff, and so that's what I was trying to kind of offer to the community. But then that cuts into my pouring time too, so it's just really a a balance here until we get the box all done. And like there may still be some kind of a little box. I'm not 100% sure, you guys. Like maybe I'll just pick some holidays, like holidays, do a Easter box or do a Christmas box, and Christmas in July and a Christmas box in November or something. I don't know, like it just has to be less than what it is right now. So, but we'll have something in it. It may not be a box. It may be like the special class, like I did with the Santa last year. Remember we had the big Santa that we did as a specialty class, so maybe it'll be something more like that too. So not really sure, but I'm not going anywhere because this is what I love to do, and so still going to be doing it at some version of it, so just a different version than the box. So, and it would be great to be able to paint more pieces, kind of like with the free class on last Sunday, and I know some of you tuned in. We're doing the Kinsey Rock, and so it'll be fun to be able to offer like that kind of stuff too, and maybe have the printed instructions. And if I can plan ahead more, like you guys could order the bisque ahead of time, and I ship the bisque and the paint if you wanted the paint, but I won't have to do all those stickers and all of that kind of stuff, because that really does take a lot of time, and it cuts into a lot of the profit too. So we're gonna work something out, and it's excuse me, it's gonna be fun for both of us. Oh, that's a little heavy. So Bernadette says she loved the Santa. So yeah, so like there's a ton of stuff, you guys. Like I'm not even lying. There's so many molds and so many great molds, because I got to really pick them for the probably like 80% of the molds were like hand picked every time we went and got stuff. Now the other 20% was when we first started, when I was doing craft shows, and I maybe bought out excuse me, a couple of shops, and then you have to take everything that they have excuse me. And so there are some things that ain't so great, but I have like 80% of the stuff is like great stuff. And so I'll be able to offer more of that stuff. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to, is pouring all of that great stuff that we have and getting it on the web page, having time to paint some of that stuff and have instructions for it, maybe have special classes for some of it. So it'll be good for all of us. I missed it. No, you didn't miss anything. We're just talking about what's going to kind of happen when the subscription box is done in December of 2026. Oh, you missed the Santa. Okay, I get it now. I think you missed the Santa is what you missed. Okay. And I actually have another Santa that I really, really like too, and it's the Kimple Austrian Santa. And he's not as big as the Santa that we did last year. And he would make a really cool specialty class too. So like there's just a ton of stuff that I can do. And like I said, I'm not going anywhere. So we're just going to figure out what you guys want, what I can do, and what we can offer. And well, we're going to do it. So we're just going to take the box out of it to take out all of the extra work. But there's plenty of molds to offer you guys. So it's going to be a good thing. And it'll give me time to cut my grass and mop my floor and do those kind of things that I'm not having time to do. So we will have, I mean, I know we haven't talked about it in a bit because it's been kind of hectic here with my dad passing away and that, but I'm still doing the specialty, a couple specialty classes this year, which will be or special offerings, will be those Christmas ornaments, the vintage mice, the Alberta mice, for the advent calendar stuff that we talked about. Like that's still on the calendar. Like I'm still gonna do that. It's just getting caught up here first. I do have 4 sets clean, poured, and fired, but I've kind of put that on hold, trying to get the box caught back up. And so that's still coming. Then I still have to pick another set of ornaments that will probably be just a vintage mix of snowmen and Santas. Just a variety of Christmas ornaments will be the other option. And then we have the clay magic tree, the advent tree that I haven't been able to touch yet. That's our other big specialty thing that will be going on for 2025 here. And time is flying, so hopefully in the next month I can get that guy poured and get that figured out. And so we still have specialty stuff coming up. I would still like to do the ladybug with the mosaics on it that I started last year, and all I need to do is get her finished and then start pouring it, and then you guys I can offer it. So that'll be a mosaic class, and it'll offer, like, you'll get everything you need in the kit. You'll probably have 2 choices because some of you have done the mosaics before, so you'll probably have the option to get the tools and glass and the grout and everything, or just the bisque, depending upon what you need. So we'll kind of got to work through that. So the ladybug will be the mosaic pattern. And then, like I said, the advent tree, and then the ornaments. So we do have 3 big specialty things coming up for this year. And that's kind of an example of what probably we'll be doing when the box is done, more of those specialty things like that. Because I won't have to be printing labels and creating labels and all of that. So it'll create a lot of extra time. And I could just ship them in their box and just be a bisque ship and whatever. So I'm just working on our little lid here. And you can see it's slowly getting there, but it does take a lot of brushing because it is very smooth. But you just keep plugging away at it, doing an area at a time. Let this area dry while we go on to the next area. And so, and if you guys have like a suggestions, like, you can post it on here, or you can message me if you have suggestions of what you'd like to see in the future. Because really it's all about bringing you guys what you want to have. So, and then everything just keeps getting so expensive, the labels and the cardboard and the packing, and so it's just kind of time for the box to have a change. Like we could do different products. We can do we could do stuff that's with fashion hues. We can do chalks. There's tons of stuff that we'll be able to do. So I do have so you guys do have the Meadows Impression candle for April, and then I will order the other 2 candles the next time I order molds, which will be pretty soon, I'm guessing, because I'll have to order slip too, and then they need time to make the molds, because I'll have to order the August through December molds. I do have the other ones already. So like all of that has to be planned ahead too. So it's just going to save a lot of time with that for me, for other stuff for you guys. So yep, so like the advent tree, like you guys got to give me like another month on that before I get to that. So it's just a matter of getting caught up here. And it's getting there. It just takes, you can't make up one day in one day. Once you get behind it, it takes like 3 days to make up a day. So we'll get there, and we'll have it, and it'll be really cool. So, and it's brand new mold that I got, so that's really cool too. And it is a big tree. It's not a little tree. It's probably 18 inches. So it's one of Clay Magic's one of their very early molds that they had, and it's a tree that they have the little miniature ornaments that go on it too. And I'm probably gonna have to check with them to see how those ornaments go on there. I don't know if you use Velcro or what you do. So we'll have to find out about that. They're quite small. They're like the size of a big nickel, I guess you could say. And then we do have the new Clay Magic molds coming. I thought maybe I'd hear from them by now that they're here at Marcella's, but I haven't yet. So those should be coming. I got all of the new ones, those bees, those bee cups, the new Highland cows, that butterfly gnome, the little bee gnome. I don't remember if I got the Easter ones though. I might have not gotten those because I didn't think they'd get here in time for Easter. I did order so they have a tree that's one of their first trees too, and it's a stacking tree. And then that stacking tree has ghosts that they call them climbers, ghost climbers, bunny climbers, teddy bear climbers, and then there's birds and nests and acorns as well. So I do have all of that, or I have the tree already, but I don't have the little climbers to go with it. So that's another big project I want to get started on too, once those molds get here. Those ghost climbers that go on the tree are really cool, and the little bunny climbers too. So I think you guys will like that. I did order the skinny holly tree that they came out with last Christmas, and those tiered trees that they came out with that last Christmas, and the wispy pines that they came out with a couple years ago. And so I do have quite a few trees coming from Clay Magic, so kind of excited to get that stuff, as well as that butterfly gnome. I think that's pretty cool. And then those bee cups, those bee cup flowers, those are pretty cool too, because everybody's kind of into bees. So hopefully all of that stuff gets here in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll get them dry and poured, and hopefully, let's see, it's April. Hopefully we'll be able to have those for the May add-ons. So that would be kind of nice if we can get them here and get them dried out. I'll use the dehumidifier, and then the kiln will be firing, so that really helps to dry stuff out. And then we got the ceiling fan too, so hopefully we can have that new stuff from Clay Magic for May. So stuff is kind of turning around. We just gotta keep plugging away at it here. And so you can see our egg carton is slowly getting light turquoise, and I really liked the turquoise colored egg carton. And like they come in, you can get, well, I think you used to be able, I don't know if you can still get them. They used to have pink egg cartons, blue egg cartons, yellow egg cartons, kind of this turquoise color. So you can make your egg cartons whatever color you want, really. Just start with a darker, like if you wanted it light pink, just start with a darker pink and then go over it with the lighter pink. Or if you wanted it yellow, like you could start with I'd probably start with like the gold and then go to like pale yellow. And if I wanted blue, I'd probably go with medium blue and then put baby blue over it. So you could do any color egg cartons you want. I'm kind of a turquoise and blue person, so I went with the turquoise. I haven't looked at the website in probably a month, so I'll have to look to see where we are with paint colors, if I'm out at all from the paint list. If I am, I'll get them ordered, so that if you guys need paint, because I noticed quite a few of you are ordering paint. So if I'm out colors, I'll try to get those. Like usually there's two dozen upstairs at the shop, and so we should have plenty. But if anything's out, don't worry, I'll check into it tomorrow or Saturday and get it ordered so that we're not out So if you guys need colors that I use, that you can get them. My supplier usually ships pretty quick, so it's just a matter of having time to do it. All right, so I'm switched to the bottom here now, so you can see like our sides are looking pretty good. It's still a little patchy yet, but I want to get some on the side here too while we're talking. Anybody have any questions about anything? Like, you guys can ask questions anytime you want too. It's like, feel free. That's what I'm here for. So it's kind of part of our class. Like I said, I am getting all of our videos downloaded. And then once they're all downloaded, did someone do a brown egg carton? I didn't see a brown egg carton, but I did see a brown egg, which was really, I thought about doing a brown egg, but I didn't do it, because then like that's more colors in the color list. But I did really like the brown egg, and I don't remember who did it, but it was really cute. It added to the character of the egg carton, or the eggs, the whole little scene here with our little eggs. I don't know. I really like our box this month. But I mean, I like all of our boxes. Like, I try to put a lot of thought into them for you guys, and that we're learning something. Like, I know even the graduates for May, like the thing with those was that there's eyes on those, and they're big eyes. So I was hoping that you guys would like them for eyes, if nothing else, for eye practice. And then, like, you could use them for kindergarten graduation, 8th grade graduation, high school graduation, tech school, college. One of our ladies at the shop is going to use it for her niece that's in the Air Force and is going to be graduating from her school. So they are pretty usable. What will happen with the Specialty Santa videos? I have them downloaded, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the specialty class ones that you guys paid extra for as part of your class. I'll have to talk to Courtney about that, because I don't know, like if someone needs it and I could email it to you and you can download it. I don't know that that's going to work with email, you know, because it's probably a big file. Or if we're just going to put it on YouTube and then it just is what it is, to make it available to you guys. And I know that makes it available to everybody then, but I guess you guys can let me know what you think about that. There's just not a whole lot of options to do with it. I mean, there's Zoom and there's GoToMeeting, and I mean, it just gets really complicated then, because then you have to have meeting numbers, and it's just a lot more to it. And so Courtney really thinks that just putting everything on YouTube is the option, but I'll check with her for sure on those specialty classes, because we have the Mosaic class and then we have the Santa class, and that was kind of part of your class price. And that is kind of a specialty class, and so I don't know if I really want them out there for anybody and everybody to have, unless they paid for them. So we'll have to see. I'll talk to Courtney Gale and see what the best option is going to be. She's probably going to tell me just put them on YouTube and don't just let it go. So we'll have to see. It's hopefully YouTube doesn't do the same thing and decide they don't want to store everybody's. I vote to make it easy on you, and that's by putting it on YouTube. Okay, well that's good to hear, because that's my concern is to not upset people that paid for stuff and that was private, and now it may not be private. But with Facebook not storing the videos, there's just not a whole lot of options for us. And hopefully YouTube doesn't go to that same kind of a thought. I mean, there's Patreon, there's different other software things out there, but I think the easiest for everybody to just use it is going to be the YouTube. So, but we'll work through it here, and we'll get there. We'll figure it out so it's good for everybody. And Paula McCoy uses a special software program too. So I'll have to see. I mean, there's other people that do classes. Like, I'm not the only one, whether it be woodworkers or glass people, or like there's tons of people out there doing classes of stuff. Yes, I'm hoping I can caught up with my painting. Didn't get sanded done due to working 60 hours a week due to short. Yeah, I feel like more people have become interested in ceramics. More like products will still remain labels. The only way to educate people is by making things. Yeah, you're definitely right, and there's not a whole lot of people out there teaching anymore. And some of them that are don't have a whole lot of experience. And I'm not trying to cut anybody down or anything, but like what the teachers that have, I guess I could say my age, old like me, 63, like we're kind of the old school people, and it's completely different than the paint your own pottery places. It's like ceramics is just completely different than that. So you see, I like the more people who become interested. Yeah. So the sad thing is, like, a lot of the products aren't available anymore. That's what makes it kind of hard. But I just try to improvise, and I mean, and you guys see that we do make your do-it-yourself, the rust, and like we've done different things, decoupage and all that. So just try to keep bringing you guys different stuff too, like the watercolor. And just using our paints that we have, so we'll just keep plugging away at it, and they use cheap paint. Yep, and cheap paint, you can use it. Like I'll tell people you can use it, but you're probably going to be frustrated with it, and it's not going to work as good as the ceramic paint, because there's not the same amount of pigment in it. And it's the same with the brushes. Like, I have people that come with the Dollar Tree brushes. And you can't dry brush with those and end up with a good product. Like, I could probably do it and end up with a decent product, but if you haven't been doing it for years and know how it's supposed to work, you're not going to get a decent product with Dollar Tree brushes. Like, you're just not. It's kind of like building a house with sand or sand blocks, or building it with concrete blocks. It's kind of the same thing. You get what you use, and so. And even if you do get it, like, it's going to be, it can be really frustrating that the stuff isn't covering and the brushes aren't working. Like, you get what you pay for sure. All right, so that's looking pretty good all the way around here. You could probably use a little more. Now, I didn't do much on the inside. The inside, it's going to take more work. And so I don't want to waste too much time on you guys just doing the same part here, but you would do the same on the inside. It's just that it's a little harder to get to. And so we'll get the outside where we need it. That way we can go onto our ducks. But you're really getting a lot of coverage with the turquoise. There's not a whole lot of the dark turquoise left. It's just, but it's there giving it shading. Especially on the lid part here, and then like in our crack and where these little indents are on our eggs, and so it's still there, providing that shading. And like, if you're having a really hard time doing this inside, like, you could even just go ahead and paint it with the turquoise. Like, I wouldn't worry too much about that, because once you put the grass on in there, like, it's gonna cover most of it up. And there's really, like, it's all smooth. Like, there's not a whole lot of crevices for the shading like there is on the lid here. But it's coming along pretty good, actually, I think. So what else is going on? I don't know. Is anybody else having spring break or anything? Anybody doing anything special? Anybody doing any different kinds of classes of things? actually going to, someone asked me how to crochet corner to corner, and like I've crocheted since I was in 6th grade, so I know I can crochet pretty good. But I've never actually done the corner to corner crocheting, so I watched YouTube, and I got to dig out the yarn and the crochet hook so I can show her how to crochet corner to corner. It's pretty simple, but it's definitely different than crocheting across from row to row. And so I'm kind of looking forward to being able to try that out and showing her. Whoop, let's keep our towel out of the paint there. So I'm just getting my ends now here because they're a little bit more deep turquoise coming through on those. And we got a little wet and shiny. It's not such a big deal with this being wet and shiny because it's pretty smooth, and so you're getting a lot of the light turquoise on it. And so it's okay if you have a little bit of wet and shiny. You just don't want to overdo it. All right, so this seems a little bit darker through here yet. So I will try to, I have to start looking at the molds for the rest of the year. We're going to look at probably some fashion hues. I know we have the faux stained glass coming yet. We're going to be doing the watercolor stuff for next month. We'll have to see what else. I think I was going to try to get silk screening in because we haven't done silk screening in a while. So probably try to get some silk screening in yet. Is there anything you guys think you're, even if it's something we did before, like you can still like go ahead and suggest it. I mean, dry brushing is always good. See, trying to get our house in order, buy a house. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I built. This house was built like 34 years ago, and I said I would never do it again. So, and it wasn't a bad experience or anything, but once in a lifetime is enough. I know a lot of people are on spring break. Some of the people around here had spring break already last week, but my little town of Shawano actually had spring break this week, so that's why I did the classes, the glass camp and the stoneware camp. So, all right, so we do have the inside, and like I'm not going to keep going and dry brushing the inside, but the inside you would do the same as your outside, or if you're having trouble with it, just go ahead and paint it with the light turquoise. Like that'll work too, because once the grass is in there, like you're still gonna you're not going to see it that much, but you're just going to do the same thing, and I'll just start it to use up my paint that I have here, and then we'll switch to our ducks. And you're just going to, like, it's just a little bit harder because, like, you kind of have to move your hand up the brush so you can get the brush down in there. So that's kind of the downfall of this little egg carton, because you really don't want it white on the inside, I don't think, unless you had a white egg carton. We kind of want that color in there because, like, usually the styrofoam, the color goes all the way through. So I'll just use up my light turquoise, and then we'll switch to our ducks. But you just keep brushing it like you did the rest of it. You just have to hold on to your brush. Like I'm holding way at the tip to get my brush down in there. So that's just kind of one of the downfalls of doing the inside of your egg carton, but I think we really want to do it. We don't want to just leave it undone. But if you're struggling with it, just go ahead and paint it with the light turquoise. Like that's not a problem either. It'll just have a little bit softer look by dry brushing it. And you can probably get this area here pretty good, but if you're going to paint it, I would just paint the whole thing. So I guess we have snow coming this weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I'm not really looking forward to that. I'm kind of sick of the snow blower, and the we had really heavy wet snow this week, and so I had to snow blow, and then the snow blower doesn't like that heavy wet stuff, so it plugged up, and then I quit, and then I shoveled, and then it sticks to the shovel. So but we have more snow coming, so I guess March is going out like a lion instead of a lamb here. And I think March 31st is Monday, so it's the last day of March already, so just a few days away. So that's all you have to do is just keep working at your inside, and I'm not going to keep wasting time because we can switch to something else. You guys already seen me dry brush enough of the turquoise to see how much it takes to get your outside looking pretty good. So it's, you just kind of want it kind of even. You let the little dents darker, let the little crevice here darker. You can see we got the crevices darker there, and then we got our top a little darker. And so that's kind of what you want on the inside, but you just keep plugging away at it. To get that like this face part of it, you have to bring your brush back. You have to come from the back forward, and then here you have to come from the back forward too. So you just have to like turn it, use your finger down there. Same on this side. So that is a little bit of a challenge. So, but that's how we're going to do that. So let's put him aside for now. Let me see. When does your snow usually stop there? Well, they usually say Memorial Weekend. We're safe after Memorial Weekend. So we got a ways to go, you guys. But, so Chastity says heavy wet snow Monday. Yeah, it's been something, the snow. Usually by the middle of April, we should be pretty much done with snow. But we've already gotten like 20 inches in April, too. All right, so let's get our little ducks so we can get those guys started. So you have six ducks. One of them is in an egg, and then you have an egg, and then we have these ducks. So I think it's kind of a big storm that's coming through. All right, so let's get my instructions here to see what color we did our ducks. They are going to be dry, let me see, ash. We're going to go with ash on our ducks. So we're going to use a nylon painting brush. This is my size 12 that I have. And then we have our ash, and you want to shake that up. So OS 567. So usually they, like Memorial Weekend, they say is our last frost weekend. Like people don't normally plant anything outside as far as annuals and garden stuff too much, especially the tender stuff. They'll plant seeds in the middle of May. But you won't, they usually don't put out any petunias, or most people wait until Memorial Weekend. That's our big planting weekend here. We have kind of a short growing season, and then about till the middle of September, then we get freezing again. So, but you can still get freezing after Memorial Weekend here, and then people will take old sheets and pillowcases and cover up their hanging baskets and things. All right, so I dipped my brush in the water to like condition it. And so I'm just going to go into the ash and just brush back and forth. I even get the bottom and the feet, because we'll just put the feet color over that just so they look good. And so these guys are just done. I did 3 of them. Well, actually I did them all with the ash. So some of them had the yellow after that, but they all get the ash on them. So that's, and I didn't go with black. Ours is Mother's Day. Okay, well, you're a little luckier, Mother's Day. I actually like to go greenhouse shopping the Friday before Mother's Day, and then I put my stuff, I carry it in and carry it out, because that's like the best time to, like they have the best selection like that Friday before Mother's Day, because everybody's stocked up for Mother's Day. So usually on that Friday, I go greenhouse shopping. So I got to check in with Quackity, because Quackity works on Fridays now at Walmart. So I'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to go on a Wednesday. All right, so like I'm holding on to his little head here, so I'll do it up to the head. But I've seen some white. And so we'll sit him down and we'll just get them all with our ash. And so I love going to the greenhouses and shopping. I could spend thousands of dollars actually. So I have to put myself on a budget when I go. I went to a new greenhouse last year. It's called Ebert's, E-B-E-R-T, and it's down in kind of the southern, a little bit up from southern and in the middle of the Wisconsin. And it's like they must have like 30 greenhouses. So if anybody's like in southern Wisconsin, like it's really worth going to. They have perennials and annuals and garden stuff and shrubs and everything. It was really a cool place to go. Excuse me. It was a family farm that they turned into a greenhouse over the years. And they got all kinds of display gardens, and they turned like the different sheds and outbuildings into little demonstration things too. So that's Eberts, Eberts. You can find them on Facebook. They have really cool pictures. So if you're close to go to them, they're pretty cool. All right, so we're just going to get all our little ducks in a row here with our ash on it. And we just want to brush it out really nice. So we have a nice smooth surface to dry brush, other than our texture that's in our pieces. And we're doing them from head to toe, and I'm just like holding the heads, and then I'll come back and do the heads after the other parts are all dry. So yeah, if you put your stuff out before Memorial Weekend here, you're probably going to be covering it or carrying it back in. So, and even then, sometimes we have like a whole nother week that it can be kind of chilly. So you have to watch the weather if you're putting stuff out. Now there's stuff like the garden stuff that likes it colder, like peas like it colder, carrots like it colder, radishes like it colder. You can plant, and potatoes you can get in the ground earlier because they're like in the ground doing their thing, so that doesn't really bother them too much. All right, so we're just brushing away, but like green peppers, like they do not like the cold weather. They will be wilted. If it gets down to like 40, they won't be looking good. So everybody usually don't do their too much gardening before Memorial Weekend here. All right, so we're just getting our guys with our ash on them. So I didn't do black because I wanted them to have more of a softer look. And so that's where you don't always have to use black to do your base coating. So a lot of people will just automatically assume you have to use black. You don't have to use black. You want to think about what your pieces are going to look like when they're done. And so so you can see, because they have the ash in there, it's a nice soft look, where if we had black as our base coat, they would have been a lot harsher look. So that's why I kind of like, I'll change up my base coating colors. So feel free to do that. You don't have to stick to black. Black is great for animal, like wildlife and dogs and cats and cows and just wildlife and squirrels and eagles, and like black is a great color for those. But we kind of wanted a nice soft little duck look here, so we're going with the gray. So is anybody doing the those porch geese? Remember the porch geese that they had in the 80s, where they dressed them up and put a hat on them and put a jacket, like a cape or something on them? We're seeing a lot of that stuff on the advertisements, and actually people are posting them pictures. I've seen my insurance agent, they have 2 of them, and they have them decorated up for like spring. They have the rubber boots on them and the rubber little raincoat. So I have to go in the molds one of these days and see if in the mold storage and see if we have a goose that will kind of work for our as the what did they call them? I just said it. The porch goose. They call them a porch goose. They were pretty popular in the 80s. All right, so we're even going to do our egg here with the gray, because that will get our ash, I should say, that will get in our cracks and have a nice soft looking egg. So I'm glad we don't have internet issues like we did last week. And hopefully our internet has resolved its little problem. I didn't get them into the 80s, and I won't now either. Yeah, they're different, but they're kind of making a comeback. I'm gonna forewarn you. They're definitely making a comeback. We have a little one. It's about an 8-inch one that the 4-H leader took to try to do a sample for the kids because she thought it would be cute for the 4-Hers to do the porch goose. But yet we're definitely seeing them here. There's a house down the road from me. When I come home, they have them sitting in the living room window. You can see them. The porch goose has got theirs cute. One of my neighbors did this with the metal goat. Oh, well, that's cute. Yeah, this is just the porch. We just always called them the porch goose. And so they're kind of a popular thing again. Everything comes back around, you know. So, and when we were doing some of our mold picking up in Ontogganon, Michigan, like they had a ton of those buggers up there, and I don't think we got any of them because we've seen so many of them. It's like, oh my God, I don't even want one of these things. But there were tons of molds with the porch goose. I think every shop that they bought out had porch geese. So we have one coat on our little guy. So now I'm going to go back and hold him by the other parts because those are kind of dry now, and then we will do our ash on here and get the heads with our gray on them so they look really good. So you can see how nice that dried, and it doesn't have ridges and things. So you really want to brush out your paint so it's got a nice, smooth, soft surface on it. So when we're dry brushing, we're not catching on our ridges from our not brushing out our paints, okay? And then, because I'm handling these, I do get a little bit of paint come off here and there. So we're just getting them with our ash on them. So I have your vases. I have a load of vases firing right now. There's, I think I have 25 in there is all I could get. So I'll have to do 4 loads for sure. So they're kind of tall. They're going to be a tight squeeze in your guys' box. I'm hoping by putting them sideways they fit. I probably kind of pushed the limit on the size with them, but I think we can make them work. So, but I have 25 of them fired, so I only got like another 75 to go, you guys. All before the shipping time here in a few days. And then I will try to get like the leprechauns posted on the website yet this weekend sometime, and the extra egg cartons and the ducks. I do have like 8 sets of extra ducks, so if people are looking for egg cartons and ducks, I will be adding those sometime this weekend. So you can look forward to that. So he looks pretty good when we just keep plugging away here and getting them. Oh, look at here. I busted his little nose off. Nobody noticed that. So I guess we won't finish painting him. I'll have to get a new one. He lost his beak. I probably tossed him around here too much. So we'll get this guy. I'll have to bring a new guy with he's got his head down. So I'll bring a new one of him. So what else are you guys into painting? What are you guys painting now? Are you painting Easter stuff? Are you painting Mother's Day gifts? Spring stuff? Garden stuff? What are you guys working on? I bet they were easier to clean than the egg carton. I bet it was a nightmare to clean that. No, these weren't too bad. The egg cartons, we had to be careful not to squeeze them so that they, you know, because they're kind of a big hollow piece, but so is that vase. The vase has kind of been, it's been a little bit of a challenge too, because they look like they're fine when they're poured, and then when Pam goes to clean them, you sand them just a little bit, and they have some little tiny air bubbles on top. And so that's why I know that I'm going to have rejects, but I'll be able to put joint compound in them and offer them to you guys as rejects. So the egg cartons weren't bad at all. So the egg cartons are a little bit top heavy, so they do have a little bit of a rock to them. That's the only thing. And then you just couldn't squeeze them. So, all right, so I'm just going back and checking my little ducks here to make sure I don't have any fleas or any of them little white spots, because of course they like to pop back up. So trying to gather Easter stuff for my office. After that, I'm doing some spring things. Oh, good. I've gotten a few things done at the shop that I haven't done them. Like I made those glass flowers like a whole year ago, and I didn't get them on their stems. But I just took like an hour last week, and I did get those guys on their stems. And then what else did I do? I got a couple other things. I made some glass trees, and they needed to have wood bases sawed on the bandsaw. And then I had to take the drill and like make a divot in there to put the glass stems, the trunks into. So I got those done last week, one day. Tried to get a few things that have been just laying in the way at the shop before they got broke. So I did get some of that stuff done. So let me see. Julie's painting a Yeti. Just collecting them. Oh, that's nice. And some remission gift. Oh, that's really nice. All right, so it looks like we got everybody in gray with our ash here, with no white spots other than the little guy that lost his beak. All right. Just making sure we got all our white spots. All right, so I put my brush in there. All right, where's my instruction? So now let's see, we need those two I made yellow that are kind of looking at each other, and then the guy with his in the egg, he's yellow, and then these guys are the white. So let's see, we'll dry brush we can go with gray on them and then white. So let's get our dry brush, let's get some gray, OS 474 gray. Looks like I got enough ash out there forever. All right, so I just have a size 5, I'm sure this is, and we'll go into our gray, kind of work it into our brush a little bit, and then brush back and forth. Again, I like to do that X so I get the paint off all sides of my bristles. And then we're going to, so now our ducks have lots of feathers or down, and so there's lots of crevices. So we want to look at our ducks, and these are kind of going down, so we want to go across them. And don't worry about if you get it on the feet, that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. We'll take care of that later. Oh, I just went into the wrong color. And so you just keep working your way around and going across. Like here, it's just going up and down. And you want to go nice and light. And come right up to his chin. Is anybody watching the baby eagles from Bear Lake in California that are on TikTok that were born? I think they're 16 days and 21 days old. There was 3 of them, and one of them ended up dying last week in a snowstorm. So I've kind of been watching those every day, and it's pretty cool to see the baby eagles, how much they've grown and how they've gone from barely lifting their heads up to not actually standing on their feet yet, but they kind of lay, like if this is their foot and this is their leg, they're kind of walking on this part of their leg. They're not using their feet too much, but the one that's a little older, he's starting to use his feet. So it's kind of cool to see how they've progressed. Like they're kind of like toddlers right now. So it's kind of fun to watch them. And then they're always picking at each other, which I'm guessing is like it's making them stronger because they're opening their wings. And yes, Jackie and Shadow, yep, that's who they are. It's really fun to see how the babies are progressing and how the parents take care of them. And last year their eggs didn't hatch, and so this year they had 3, but I think the dad stepped on that one and that his talon must have injured him, because then he died overnight in the snowstorm. And he was actually the bigger one and kind of the stronger one, and he was actually pretty mean to the other ones. He really pecked at them. And so it's kind of fun to just see how much they're changing. And I didn't think they changed that much, but then the other day I seen one of the first videos, and then it's like, oh my goodness, like they're really getting strong and they're getting big, and they're actually quite ugly. They have these little gray pin feathers, and you can see their skin. So it's kind of cool to see how they've gone from not really being able to lift their heads very much to holding their heads up and flapping their wings. And the one kind of crawled out to the edge of the nest the other day, and people were worried that he was going to fall out, but then he went back in. So it's kind of cool to see Mother Nature, like the camera is like right up close to the nest, and so you can see a lot. You can see them feeding them and taking care of them. It's really cool. Where do I see this at? You just go on TikTok. Go on TikTok and type in Shadow or Jackie, and I think they should come up. It's Bear Lake. I think it's a national park or forest there, and they actually have the cameras like right above the, like they have like, they look like they're like 2 feet from the nest. It's pretty cool. And I've watched them a couple of years already, but this year it's really fun because they had the 3 babies. It was sad though when they lost the one, because you want them to all survive, but I think I read that only 50% of what's hatched actually like makes it. So it's not a real strong survival rate, but it's pretty cool seeing how they've gone from these weak little chicks that hatched and couldn't sit and hold their heads up to now they're like pecking at each other and they're flapping their wings, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going around his little head here. So you just get the whole thing with our gray on it, except for the beaks and the feet. So they have a Facebook page. Oh, I didn't know they had a Facebook page. Oh, that's cool. I just watch them. I usually check them on YouTube, or not YouTube, on TikTok before I go to bed at night, because it's just kind of a happy little thing to see, unless, you know, one of them dies or the one's out on the edge and you think he's going to fall off, kind of like a teenager not obeying the parents. So, and then like the mom goes for a while and she comes back with a fish, or the dad goes and comes back with a fish, and how they feed them. It's really pretty cool if you're kind of into nature and stuff. And even if you aren't, like, it's kind of a cool learning experience. So we got him. Let me see. The other one I broke, so we won't do them. But we will do our egg. I did our egg with that. So I'll have to check out their Facebook page. Thank you. So now we have our little zigzag. So I want to go across my zigzag here too. And then the rest of the egg is kind of smooth, so it really don't matter. We can do that kind of how we did the egg carton. And here we'll just go any ways when we're not going across the zigzags. One day last week, the mom brought a fish, and when she was eating it, she actually got a fish hook in her mouth, and you could, or in her throat, I think. You could see her trying to like regurgitate it out, and she was finally okay, but it was kind of scary to see that too, because here the babies could have lost their mom to a fish hook. And it shows them like cleaning the nest and building on the nest, the parents. Like it's a pretty cool thing to watch. The Dulles Airport nest can't decide who owns the nest. The eagles fight over it all the time. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. It must belong to one of them, though, because I would think like one pair must have built it and not all of them. So, yeah, I think there's a couple other eagle ones on there too, but the Jackie and Shadow are the ones that I've watched mainly. So it was really sad last year because their eggs ended up being no good, and like they sat on them for so long, and then I think the ravens came and ate the eggs after a while, and it was sad because you could tell that, you know, like they were waiting for these eggs to hatch, and they're not hatching and not hatching. All right, so we're just getting our layer of gray on here, and we have quite a ways to go yet, but you can see even though our egg is smooth for the most part, like we can still get plenty of gray on it. We just want to be patient and build it up a little at a time so we're not looking like we painted it. And so we just keep going. We'll get a good layer of that on it. We'll probably have to finish these guys next week. And we'll be able to start on our orange ones. Or, yeah, I guess they're orange. Orangish yellow ones too. And you guys should have plenty of flocking in there if you wanted to flock all of them. It doesn't take much at all. So we got a good layer on here. So, whoops. Then I just sit him down. Oh, and we have this egg to do too. So let's get some on this egg here too. So again, I'm just going across my cracks. And we'll go right up to our duck. I'm kind of waiting for spring because I planted some, oh, those purple balls, the alliums. So I planted a bunch of those last fall, so I can't wait to see what they look like this year. So, have you seen Spirit drop by? He's there late. Oh no, I haven't. That's kind of cool though. Well, isn't that something that the babies come back even? They're actually like the young ones are pretty ugly. They're not a pretty bird until they get their white. They're white on them. Before that, they're kind of ugly, even as the. I think it's a couple of years before they actually like get white. They look kind of scraggly when, like the first year and the second year. At least I think so. Then they start getting their white, and that takes a couple of years, and then they look really awesome. And so this duck I did with the yellow, so we're just doing the egg part with our gray. So now here, what I did is I brushed with the side of my brush, and so that's why I got too much paint on there. So you want to make sure you're using the tip of your brushes and not the side, because that paint kind of tends to build up on that side. So you see how I just wiped all of that off on the brush. So you want to make sure you're using like the tip of your brush and not the side. And that a lot of people will end up with that spot like that. It takes about 7 years. Oh, okay. So you don't want to like get the side of your brush. You always want to kind of be using the tips of those bristles. That will give you a better look. A better look with your dry brushing. That's a long time, 7 years. So we have quite a few eagles around here too. We didn't as I was a kid, but we do now, so it's pretty cool. And there's a river, like, I don't know, a quarter mile from our town here, and so you see them flying over the river quite a bit and over my house. So it's kind of cool to go outside, you know, just every day going to the storage unit or the shop, and usually see eagles a couple times a week. So it's pretty cool. All right, so we got everybody with one coat. We got, what colors would I use if I wanted a brown egg like Miranda? I would probably use like medium brown and then light brown. And then if you wanted them even a shade lighter, you could probably go with some cargo pants on it, or like half cargo pants and half light brown. That's probably what I would do. If Miranda's watching, maybe she'll comment what she uses. But I'd probably use medium brown, and then the light brown, and then half cargo pants and half light brown. 5 years, forget their weather. My husband and I go to the road to watch the eagles where he fishes. He thinks he found the nest. Oh, that's cool. So we have our yellow, our white guys with our gray on it, and they definitely need more, so we will do more next week. And we got our egg carton to where we want that. And so we're moving right along. So this is our little egg guy, so we'll have to go to white yet after that, and then we'll do our orange. And then you guys did get the paper grass in your box, so you have the paper grass and the flocking. And so we will move on with those next week, and I'll have to get me a new one with the head down so he has a beak. Otherwise, can't think of anything else to tell you that's important. If you joined late, I did talk about downloading the videos to the computer, my computer here, before Facebook deletes them, so I'm working on that. And then we decided, I talked with Courtney, and we decided the best option is going to be putting them onto YouTube. And so there are 6 years worth of videos to do that with. Some of them are on YouTube. I don't know if it's the first year. I haven't really had time to look into that too much, but we'll get all the videos from the classes onto YouTube. It's just the best option for you guys and for me, especially with the box ending in December of 26. And then there is a specialty mosaic class and a specialty Santa class. I'll talk to Courtney about that, but I'm thinking it's probably just going to end up on YouTube as well, just so you guys have access to it. I don't think emailing it, it'd have to be in a zip file and stuff, and I'm not really good with all that, but I'll check with Courtney because she is better with it. So we'll have to see about that. And so that's kind of where that's going, and I'm working on getting them downloaded. I'm in the middle of December, or middle of 2022, so we have a little ways to go yet. And that's kind of it. Your invoices went out. If you didn't get an invoice, let me know. You should have, but like I kind of have a airy brain here the last couple of weeks. So Julie says she loved this. Not a big bunny person for some reason. Can't wait to get this painted. Well, good, yeah. And then I do have the candle. I can show you guys the candle again. If you have a kiln, you could glaze it on the inside and make it a vase, but I didn't do that. So you will get the topper and the tea light. And then this is it's large, like it's going to fill up the box. So it's called Meadow Impressions. It's a Dona candle. And then I did forget to order the medium and the small, but I will order them for our next mold order. And then it is the same on the back side, but I'm not quite done. I have to finish the bird on the back side and put the gloss sealer on our berries. Now, if you had little round red gems, you could put those in where the berries are too. And we're just using, it's going to be called a watercolor technique. It's just something I kind of created and whipped up. And we are going to use our normal acrylic paint that we use, our normal Duncan and Mako paint. And all we're doing is thinning it. And I will be, you guys, as your extra in your box, you're going to be getting a plastic palette to put your little squirt of paint into. And so that will be your extra for April, will be a palette for kind of making your watercolor. But I think using our acrylics was the best option so that we had more color choices. Now, and this is not hard, so don't worry about that. It's actually really, really simple. You might use it more than you even think that you would. These I did as dandelions because dandelions come out first in the spring, but they could be the thistles. They could be purple thistles. This could be white Queen Anne's lace. Like, you can change the colors. I tried to make it kind of colorful with the hummingbird. I'm debating about putting some dragonfly glaze on the hummingbirds yet. We'll have to see. Like, it was kind of a rush to get it painted on Tuesday at class, but I got it, and that's why the back isn't done. I kind of ran out of time. But it's super easy, you guys. Like, all we do is thin the paint to be like a watercolor. So don't worry about not being able to do it. It's pretty simple. And then I just used a couple nylon brushes, actually, and then a liner brush. So it's pretty simple. So hopefully you guys like it. That's what your invoice is for. That's what we'll be shipping for April. Hopefully I can have a pickup on next Friday and then the following Monday as far as boxes, because you guys have until Tuesday to pay. So that's what we're looking at. I'll try to look at the website to see what I'm out of and make sure stuff gets corrected. I just haven't had no time to do that. So you guys, the color list is posted with the picture in your group too. Like I said, it's just our regular acrylic colors. It was pretty fun to do because it's something really, really different and not doing all the dry brushing. Like, we just float the color on there and it's really cool. So that is our watercolor technique we're gonna do that I kind of made up. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And then I will get those other 2 candles too. So yeah, a lot of people collect the hummingbirds. So, and it's just a nice springy looking thing. So I think that's it. If anybody has questions, you guys can always message me. I did have requests for past instructions of pieces to go on the website, so I will work on getting those on the website too, because actually There's not a lot of you that are from the original boxes, so you may want to paint other things. And those videos will all be on YouTube then. And a lot of them are in Brenda's Creative Classroom group or in this group. So you do have access to the videos yet until I get them up onto YouTube. So I think that's about it, you guys. So stay warm and dry if you get the snow that we're supposed to get, the wet, heavy stuff. And hopefully I'm going to stay dry and not have to shovel too much. I'd rather just have rain than heavy snow, but we'll have to take whatever we get. And hopefully our new phone gave you guys a great picture quality, so that's what I'm hoping with that, since we're going to be uploading stuff to YouTube. And voice is good and all that, so if not, we'll check it out. Alright, you guys, message me if you need anything, and thanks for joining me tonight. Bye-bye. Have a great week.